Conference on ESPN. We welcome you to the University of Tulsa for tonight's American Conference matchup between the Memphis Tigers and the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Hello again, everybody. Along with Brendan Manzer, I'm Dave Lamont. We thank you very much for joining us. We have an interesting matchup here because Memphis can score and Tulsa can stop you.
Multiple offensive threats for Memphis on the floor at any given time. What Frank Haith will try to do to combat that, Dave, is mix up his defenses tonight, man to zone, try to confuse them offensively, and try to slow them down. It's definitely a chess match we have on our hands.
You talk about a lot of brother combinations in college basketball. There may not be any better than the Lawsons playing for Memphis.
Well, Dietrich gets a lot of the publicity, one of the most dynamic scorers in all of America, but KJ has quietly complimented him offensively. 33 points a night from these two, and they consistently get it done. And you cannot hide a weak individual defender on these guys right here because they can go make plays.
It's very chic in basketball right now to have that third scorer, the third guy, and it might be for Memphis, Markel Crawford.
And it really hasn't been the Lawson brothers carrying this ball club since conference play began. Crawford has been outstanding. He's been good all year, Dave. But the last 3 games, 24 points a night, 72% from the floor. He's doing it from everywhere, knocking down shots and hurting you on the interior. He will be a tough matchup for the Golden Hurricane.
Now, head coach Tubby Smith will be the first to tell you the Tigers have a weakness. They're not a terribly deep team. On the other hand, he'll also tell you Tulsa is a very deep team.
And that's what Frank Haith wants to do, use their depth to shuffle guys in and out, hopefully trying to wear down Memphis over time. Tulsa certainly has the advantage in the interior at the 4 and 5 spot, but they've got to have an individual performance like a Corey Henderson backing up what he did a week ago in Houston.
When we return to Tulsa, we'll line them up for the center jump. American Conference action tonight. Memphis in town to take on the Golden Hurricane. W. Reynolds Center in Tulsa on the beautiful campus here at TU. Take a look at our starting lineups. Tubby Smith, a bit of a homecoming. We'll get into that a little bit later on, but he's got the Lawson brothers, of course, along with Markel Crawford, the player of the week, Jeremiah Martin, and Jamario Rivers is a player who's on the rise as well. For Tulsa, Frank Haith in his 3rd season with the Golden Hurricane. And he'll start player at forward, Junior Etu, really key for Tulsa. They're going to win this game tonight. Sterling Taplin, Pat Burt, Gilla Wheeler, and Will Magnay, the Australian, has had some very impressive games. 5 games with at least 2 blocks for the freshman out of Australia. Good crowd on hand, and Tubby Smith, we mentioned the homecoming. He coached here at Tulsa and did extremely well in the 90s before he went to Kentucky.
Yeah, 2 Sweet 16s, Dave, and 94 and 95. And a lot of connections to TU here today, part of Coach Smith's coaching staff, as we'll get into later, and also on the Tulsa coaching staff as well.
What a wonderful hire for Memphis. As Tubby Smith left Texas Tech, took them to the NCAA tournament. He and Lon Kruger, the only guys with 5 NCAA tournament appearances with 5 different schools. Frank Haith, he knows about the tournament as well, having coached at Miami and Missouri. And Tulsa was a NCAA tournament team a season ago. Going to be a little tougher for them this year at 7-7. Memphis at 12-4. Memphis leads the series history. And we are about to begin our officials: Zelton Sneed, Kip Kissinger, and Joe DeRosa. Sneed with the ball. A couple of last words of wisdom before we jump it.
It'll be interesting to see here early how Tulsa handles the athleticism of Memphis. Because as we mentioned, they open multiple guys that not only can make plays for themselves, but also create for teammates. And with Memphis being low on depth, particularly in the interior, they're very perimeter oriented and do such a great job of attacking from the perimeter.
That's KJ Lawson. Shot clock already under 10. Martin down to 4. Tough drive, contested all the way, and the rebound fought for, and the ball did hit the rim, and it was stolen away by Tulsa, so no violation there. And the Golden Hurricane break out.
Yeah, nice job with the big man. You can see Magne. One of the reasons they're excited about him is he moves pretty well. Did a nice job of keeping Martin in front.
Inside. Jump ball. Possession arrow will favor Tulsa.
You mentioned Junior Etu being important in this basketball game. I mean, he is a guy that has tremendous upside, but he'll have a couple of really good games and then he'll disappear. And he's a guy that Frank Haith feels like can force the issue more. They want him to be more aggressive. So you see them going to him immediately on the first possession.
Well, Etu has led Tulsa this season 5 times in scoring. Way off on that shot there, and the rebound chased down by Martin. So I guess it's when he's good, he's really good, and when he's not.
But he can't let that discourage him. I mean, he's really important, not only to this game, but for the long-term success of the Golden Hurricane.
Turnover there, stepped out of bounds, and so Tulsa will take over. Tulsa games have had a habit lately of starting off with low scores. Whatever it is, the game against Houston, a narrow defeat for them. Started off very slowly, and they're going to turn the ball over too, and that was a big issue early in the year for Tulsa. It's gotten a little better, but still.
Yeah, ball security's been better. Starts with Sterling Taplin, sophomore point guard for the Golden Hurricane. Although, last 4 games, Taplin's turned it over a little bit too much for Frank Haith's liking. But overall, they're pleased with the way he's been running the team.
Right now, I haven't seen very much out of Dedrick Lawson getting the basketball, and we're going to have a whistle, and the first foul of the game will go against Tulsa, and will be on Pat Burt.
Both these teams, in some ways, you can already tell the first couple of possessions, feeling each other out. And Memphis also anticipating, as Coach Smith talked to us, he expected Frank Haith to change his defenses from zone to man, and sometimes he will even change it within the possession itself.
Tulsa is known for defense. Frank Haith is known for coaching defense. And this might be a situation where if it's a low-scoring game, it's going to benefit the home team tonight. Crawford for 3. Rebound. Missed on the putback by KJ Lawson, still fighting for it. One more, and Martin got belted, or excuse me, Rivers got belted, and he will go to the line. And that's going to be a second foul on Pat Burt, and right away, that bench we talked about, Corey Henderson Jr. will come in, and he has played extremely well off the bench.
And that is huge because Burt, your senior, and a guy that's been through these wars and was a very important piece to last year's NCAA tournament team. A guy that can shoot it and streaky, but once he gets going, he can make runs. Now you take him out of the game 2 minutes in. You bring in Henderson.
Henderson coming off the bench averages almost 9 points per game. He actually scores more often as a substitute than in his 3 starts. Both free throws missed.
Yeah, what Tulsa will have to be careful with, Dave, is that last possession, they went zone.
And Rivers changing that shot. Another opportunity for Etu, and he's stuck with it.
Yeah, good sign right there from Etu. And you saw him initially catch it and try to drive it quickly down the center of the floor. So he is certainly being aggressive, and something that Frank Haith emphasized to us and has emphasized to him. And here's second and third chance opportunities. And again, Etu can score in a lot of ways. Good body, strong, and a nice finish right there.
That foul, by the way, offensively on Jamario Rivers, his first. Inside Etu. Getting a lot of attention and swatted away again, but Memphis cannot hang on to the ball. Tulsa will get it. And Rivers may have been poked in the eye a little bit.
Well, it's not hard to figure out what the offense is going through here early on for Tulsa. And a nice block there. Etu, when he gathers himself, he's got to go straight to the rim and attack right there, just slightly soft.
And Rivers, I don't know if he's having a hard time with that eye or not, but he checks out of the game. Craig Randall, the second, number 12, will come in for the Tigers. Taplin will work the perimeter. Good pass, Magne, very patient, lays it in.
Terrific ball movement side to side, and then you get Wheeler in a position where he's at his best. A attacking those gaps and drew the help, and you see the good hands from Magne, the big fella.
Very promising player, just a freshman out of Australia. Started the last now 9 games. Still waiting to see Peter Lawson shoot the ball. He had it for the moment. One to shoot. He's going to have to force up a shot, and it goes in. A 3 for Lawson.
That's not an accident. I mean, he is so good. So patient right there, understanding that he had plenty of time. Let's go back to that last possession, though. Get the touch inside, good pass out, boom, boom, ball movement, attack. Again, Wheeler, terrific at slicing and dicing.
We've seen the Memphis bigs very active in blocking shots already, so Magne had to be careful, and his patience paid off. This is Henderson. Another pass to Magne. A little too high off the glass. The shot altered a bit, and KJ Lawson rebounds. KJ Lawson drew a little contact. Magne will get credit for a block, however, and it's turned over. E2 leads it.
Nice job of Magne, again, defensively, going straight up and down.
3 ball. Bang! Henderson hits.
A couple of really positive signs for Tulsa. Number one, E2 has come out of the gate trying to force his will. And then secondly, Henderson straight off the bench, picking up where he left off at Houston.
All right, Diedrich Lawson is a 28% three-point shooter coming into the night. He is 2 for 2. Gonna try again for 3. And suddenly no one can miss as Henderson hits again. And he's a 36% three-point shooter.
Frank Haith felt like this summer he played like Tulsa's best player. And he's come out of the gate here feeling it. If I'm Tulsa,
one more,
trying to find him. Absolutely,
Wheeler.
heat check time.
Overthrew the pass to Taplin.
Well, Tulsa being aggressive and assertive, but when you have a big fella like this, shot clock's running down, there's Lawson keeping it within 4.
Your score and time, 15-12 remaining. Tulsa ahead 10-6 over Memphis in this American Conference tilt in Tulsa. Well, 1994 was a magical year for the Golden Hurricane. Tubby Smith won the Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year. He had 2 great players in Shea Seals and Pooh Williamson. They won the regular season title, and they didn't lose touch with Tubby, did they, Shea and Pooh?
Well, Pooh, on his staff at Memphis, was with him also at Texas Tech and was such a terrific point guard. You see him there on the left become an excellent assistant coach. But you want to talk about a point guard that knew how to play and set up his teammates. And then Shea Seals in 1994, who's an assistant now for Frank Haith there on the right, was one of the elite freshmen in the country. And I know that firsthand. I played at Oklahoma State against those 2 guys. And they were great teammates and perfect for each other. And here's what was the best about them. They're both Oklahoma kids, as was I, and feel good about us representing the state in terms of a lot of good players in those days. But those guys could flat out play, Dave.
Lawson missing the 3 that time, which was contended a little bit by Banu, who's into the game now for Tulsa. Well, Seals has his number retired here at Tulsa. So his history with the Golden Hurricane program is secure for life. Henderson still in there. He is very effective off the bench. Here's the streaky shooter, Lawson Corrida, number 5. So Frank Haith going into that bench that we talked about at the top of the show. Tough drive and a beauty by Taplin.
And what happens when you make a couple shots from the perimeter?
Martin, a contested shot, an incredible one for Memphis.
Going back to that last drive, when you make a couple shots on the perimeter, you cannot help on the drive. So that allows the gap for Taplin to attack to the rim.
Diedrich Lawson snatching down a rebound. 20 points and 11 rebounds per game for Lawson. On the drive, too easy. Count it, he'll go to the line.
Now remember, Corey Henderson's on that left wing, and so you can't help because he's already hit 2 threes. And then once Taplin was able to turn the corner, he gets a strong finish right there, and he continues as a young sophomore carrying the load at the point guard position to make intelligent decisions.
So Lawson will go to the line, 72% shooter there.
I mean, how good is this guy?
Well, believe it or not, and I looked at this list longer than you look at your next Christmas list. He did not make the midseason Wooden Award 25. Now, it's a huge surprise. Even Tubby Smith, a very mellow man by nature, said, that's interesting. That's a nice little touch on the inside there for TK Hidogi. Now, it doesn't mean that he won't have a chance later in the year. Reverse layup bounces out, rebound going Tulsa's way, but still it was a surprise.
Well, there's a really good chance he's going to be the conference player of the year.
Oof, line drive three by Taplin, and Tulsa is hot early.
Tell you what, this team's making plays offensively. You and I can't have a short conversation. It's unbelievable. Again, Taplin playing with so much confidence. And now you have Henderson going a little bit. Hopefully Frank Hayes, your hand, feel like we can make enough plays to hang in the game.
That was a wonderful pass by Lawson for the basket by Randall. And Lawson is such a complete floor game, Brendan. That shot no good. Rebound Memphis. Not only with the 20 points and 11 rebounds, nearly 4 assists per game. Wide open three.
That's exactly right. When you have the ability to pass as well, and you draw attention because teams obviously have to get it out of his hands, make adjustments, switch up your defenses. It allows other guys to play off of him. And it makes it that much easier to be a compliment. I think his brother has done that, and then Crawford has been able to raise the level of his game, get the confidence level that he needs. Coach Smith wants him to be. It all has to do with Dedrick Lawson.
Corey Haight, the coach's son, number 2, has checked in. He has it right there. And that drive very easily for Jalil Wheeler.
Well, the ball movement has been really good here early on for Tulsa. And I love the fact that right now they're not settling for the three, making the extra pass.
That is an and one. Memphis will go to the line.
Jaleel Wheeler's a driver, passes up the three for a better shot. Rotation late to get over. Wheeler scores. Tulsa up 6.
Just under 12 minutes in our opening half on a beautiful evening in Oklahoma. On Thursday, we'll have an ACC American doubleheader on ESPN. 7 Eastern, number 20 Notre Dame takes on the Hurricanes in Coral Gables. After that, the SMU Mustangs, winners of 10 in a row, head to Cincinnati to battle the number 22 Bearcats in a matchup of 2 of the top teams in the American. Both games are streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. No conference losses for either the Ponies or the Bearcats. They're combined 7-0. Jacob Evans playing really well for UC. Well, we're doing some research on Dedrick Lawson. This little stretch of 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists is almost unprecedented. But you go back, that's how far back you have to go to find another guy who's done that.
Well, Ron Harper, you want to talk about a player in college, and certainly was terrific in the pros. But these guys that have an all-around game, tremendous skill set, like a Ron Harper, like a Dedrick Lawson. And the way that Lawson does it too, Dave, it seems so effortless. But he can rebound at both ends. He's a skilled passer, as we talked about. 63 assists coming in this game. He's got 44 blocks in the defensive end. And last year, after his freshman year, he tested the NBA waters, got terrific feedback, but it wasn't certain that he would be a first-round pick. And I love the fact that he and his dad decided to come back for another year and hopefully improve his stock. And most likely he will not return for a junior year if he continues to do the things that he is doing. But I love the decision to put it off a year and know that it's going to be there.
And good on the NBA for offering honest feedback as well. I mean, they don't want to ruin a kid's career and have somebody not ready and give up that college eligibility. As Haight hits the three, and Tulsa continuing to shoot well from deep. 50%, 4 out of 8 threes so far.
This is as good a stretch as Tulsa has had all year, along a stretch, Dave, that the ball has moved so well.
And that three did not go directly in, but Memphis answers back. And oh, by the way, they're shooting 50% from three.
Kind roll. You usually don't get those at home.
You don't get them anywhere very often, unless you know those rims at your local Y or something.
I guess I say you don't usually get those on the road. You get those at home.
That's a tough one, and that's a turnover. Tulsa will substitute. Sterling Taplin will come into the game. And Haith will check out, but he hit a big three for his dad.
And one of the reasons he was in the game, I mean, him hitting the three is just gravy. But this is part of Frank Haith. A lot of substitutions, especially early in the game, keeping fresh legs. As we know, Memphis is going to play about 7 guys roughly. And again, over time, they're hoping to wear Memphis down with their depth.
And give Dedrick Lawson an assist on that. Layup by Rivers.
I love the high-low right there. And that's the example of Lawson's just not a guy that can score. He'll find you if that's the right choice.
Taplin to the middle. Then he'll have it again with 13 to shoot. Deflected out of bounds by Rivers, so 7 to shoot for the Golden Hurricane, and Christian Kessie will come in, number 10, a senior out of Las Vegas, and taking a seat will be Jeremiah Martin.
Memphis, the last couple possessions, much better defensively. They've kept Tulsa in front, not allowed angles on the drive. So with 7 seconds left in the shot clock, you want to be solid here and make sure Tulsa takes a jumper over the top.
Instead, Taplin drives and scores. Well, KJ Lawson has come in. Dedrick Lawson is taking his first break of the evening.
Taplin, strong drive. Kessie just enters the game right there. Taplin goes right at him.
Good recognition by Taplin to go after the substitute, much like you attack a defensive back who's a substitute in football. And Memphis is pulled within 1.
Multiple guys. I mean, it's just not Lawson. It's just not Crawford. A lot of athleticism on this team.
Henderson, that's a 3 ball. He hit a couple when he first came into the game. That one no good. KJ Lawson leads it up, and Memphis tries to take the lead, and they'll draw a foul. Keon Clergeot, the freshman out of Central Florida, Winter Haven area, draws a foul on Jalil Wheeler.
Clergeot, I mean, he's a jet. I mean, he's got Wheeler on his heels and goes right at him. That's a tough call on Wheeler as he's trying to
Clergeot was a little out of control, but he gets bailed out. You look at this guy, by the way. He's listed at 6'1". He might be shorter, but he is solidly built.
Yeah, this 6'1", that's program size there. But they love this young man. Signed with Tubby Smith when he was at Texas Tech. Chris Beard, who became the coach after Tubby Smith left Tech, released him from his national letter of intent, which was a great move. And that allowed him to come play for Coach Smith, who we want to be with anyway. And they really like his upside and think that he's going to be an excellent player.
Out of Auburndale High School, he was a first-team All-Stater in Florida in Class 6A. Wheeler in trouble here, gets rid of it to Taplin. We're tied at 24, coming up to 9 minutes in this opening half. 3 ball tipped. Rivers got a piece of that, and it will belong to Memphis as Magne got away, I think, with just blasting Crawford to the deck.
Yeah, fortunate right there. But here's what's different about Memphis's defense the last couple possessions. It's been a protect, drive first defense versus overextending yourself and allowing Tulsa to drive it. And they haven't been able to get to the rim as much.
Crawford just sort of flipped that over his head. And Memphis is taking the lead.
Well, Crawford really good. That's a terrific play.
Memphis has made 8 of their last 10 shots. Magne wanted to get to the cutter, Henderson, but it was stopped. E2. Pump fake. That shot, I think Rivers might have got a piece of that. E2 gets it back with 1 on the shot clock, lays it in. Now Rivers going right at E2. Magne is hit on the rebound, and this will go again.
It looked like Memphis was going to get another defensive stop. I mean, this is excellent defense. Here's the contest. But E2 stays with the play, doesn't give up. wisely goes straight to the cup.
That foul, by the way, on Rivers will be his second. And I tell you what, you're right about Frank Haith and Tulsa. They are running players in and out. As Corrida has come back into the game. We briefly saw the return of Gino Artison, who hadn't played in 9 games. He is back out now, number 35 for Tulsa. So he played in the first 5, has missed 9 in a row. And we were told he had a chance to come back tonight, and we're going to have a kickball and a timeout. Interesting. Higher scoring game than maybe we thought, particularly since both teams started slowly, but we are knotted up at 26 in this American Conference duel, just under 8 to go in the opening half. Already has 5 blocked shots in this game. That's one of the reasons we are tied at 26. Our next NBA Friday doubleheader starts in the Eastern Conference with Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics taking on the Hawks at 8 Eastern, in a game you can see only on ESPN. Then at 10:30, we'll send you to Salt Lake City for the Pistons and the Jazz. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown charged by Mountain Dew at 7. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Storylines around the American. Taco Fall, almost 80% accuracy. The 7'6" center for UCF. And, of course, Dedrick Lawson we've talked about a lot already this evening, perhaps on his way to a 14th double-double. And Markel Crawford is the American Player of the Week, and Dedrick already with 12 points, but just the 1 rebound. But he has 2 assists and 2 blocks.
Touches every part of the stat sheet.
And he is back into the game after a short rest.
And Tubby Smith's going to have to manage his short rotation, and you're seeing him do that. And he used the immediate timeout, subbing for Lawson prior to give him that extra rest. And you'll see him continue to do that throughout the evening.
A 6th block shot for the Tigers there. And Tulsa turns it over. Lawson, tough little hook shot off the front of the iron. Good job that time by Magnay not to give any ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And to make sure that Lawson caught it well outside the lane. And one of the things they like about Magnay, Dave, is his intellect and his ability to pick up things for Frank Haith, particularly on the defensive end. You don't see that a lot from young freshmen, but how many times already tonight have we mentioned Magnay's rotated over and helped? He's contained guards out on the perimeter, and then right there, the intelligence to make sure a player of Lawson's caliber catches it as far out on the floor as he can, gives him the best chance possible to get a stop.
And again, a freshman. And Lawson and Magnay just had a little collision underneath. That ball's going to be ruled out of bounds. That's a 5th turnover against Memphis. And Magnay showing he can take and deliver a shot when necessary.
It's a big body right there at 6'10", 235. And he came to Tulsa as just a 17-year-old. So he's still young. But growing up in Australia, he's played lots of basketball and been in a lot of different situations with club basketball growing up. Frank Haith told me last time I was in town that he thinks that has really accelerated his understanding of the game.
And that foul will go against KJ Lawson for a hold. As the good pass in, Igmanu had excellent position, but it's going to be the first foul on KJ Lawson.
Well, you love the high-low because it takes out the built-in weak side help. And so E2 has Lawson dead to rights inside. And again, E2 being aggressive on the interior.
Good pass there, Magnay, a little lefty flipper. And Tulsa goes back in front. Not for long. A 3-ball. Jeremiah Martin puts Memphis in front. One of the things, Brendan, Frank Haith talked to us about today was pace. He wanted to increase the pace. What have you seen so far?
Well, they've got to pick their spots because Memphis is way more athletic. And as long as they're pushing the pace and it's not affecting their decision-making, they're fine. Or pushing the pace and then getting out of sync offensively that they don't settle down. The more important thing is to execute. So it's a fine line, but again, where that'll benefit Tulsa is over time in the second half.
No basket, by the way, that time. Dietrich Lawson drawing the foul on Igbanu. That'll be his first. And Magnay will check out of the game. Travis Atson will come in, number 3. Forward freshman out of Brooklyn. Not going to the line yet. Now under 6 minutes in this half, and very entertaining. After a couple of minutes of slowness on the offensive end, these teams have really picked it up.
With Atson in the game, Tulsa's already played 12 guys.
That 3-ball missed, rebounded by Igbanu. So you see Frank Haith's plan. Will it work against a Memphis team that has had to play guys deep into the 30 minutes, even 40 minutes in some cases? Wheeler, a lot of dribbling, getting nowhere, and the ball is stolen away by Crawford. KJ Lawson pulls up, too hard. That shot did not work, and Carrito almost lost it. That ball came at him so quickly. Quick little drive, right-handed teardrop, no good. Positive rebound by Igbanu, and he'll go to the line.
Boy, Igbanu, another one of those freshman bigs that Frank Haith is excited about. Here's the drive, and Igbanu, 6'8", about 240. So as a freshman, a college ready-made body. Does the right thing once he gets a strong move. And in addition to tremendous upside, immediately what he has provided is some interior toughness for the Golden Hurricane.
Not a great free throw shooter. The Nigerian native, a little under 50%. But in his last couple of games, it's first games in the American, he was 7.5 and 6.5 rebounds, 7.5 points. So he's been very effective and not at all intimidated by conference play.
Yeah, absolutely. And of those 13 rebounds, 6 were on the offensive end. And you just saw the work he did to get himself to line with the offensive rebound. And so, you know, that's just conditioning yourself in a habit. So at an early age, he's buying into that.
So E2 will come back in for Tulsa as they continue just to rotate bodies. Atson, a couple of minutes, and he's out. One thing Tulsa is able to do is throw a lot of people at you.
Well, they're going to throw a lot of defenses, too. They can play matchup zone. Frank Haith will throw 2-3 at you, and obviously they'll play man. And it'll be interesting to see if over time if they also do any token three-quarter court pressure to try to chew up some shot clock periodically.
KJ Lawson, a contested drive, and it rolls around and in.
It's interesting with Memphis is that you have 3 or 4 guys, not that just can make offensive plays, but can make isolated offensive plays. It's just basically NBA basketball. You get a matchup you like, everybody provides the spacing and lets that individual go to work offensively, and that's what happened with KJ right there.
E2 had it stripped. And it goes all the way into the backcourt. The shot clock reset. And wait a minute, maybe it shouldn't have.
Yeah, and Tubby Smith immediately jumps out.
The issue is whether the officials initially ruled that Memphis had a possession and the shot clock reset to 30 and then they lost the ball. But Tubby Smith said, wait a minute, we didn't really have it. That's his argument. So the 3 officials are going to meet.
And they'll go to the monitor. They're sending Tulsa to the bench so they can clean this up right here.
So the initial ruling was yes, we turn over the shot clock, and Tulsa was coming back. So we'll see what the decision is. Joe DeRosa and Kip Kissinger will take a peek across the way. Let's watch it ourselves. Here's the strip. Nobody has it until now, and you see the shot clock get reset by that point.
Yeah, reset at around 7 seconds. So
a free timeout for these 2 teams and these 2 veteran coaches. Tubby Smith with the national title in Kentucky. Frank Haith, success at Miami and Missouri, now at Tulsa where he's 50 and 30. And I don't think it's going to take these guys much longer to set this straight.
you talk about Tubby Smith. You're alluding to this, obviously. Everywhere he's gone, he's taken teams to the NCAA tournament.
Every time.
And he knows how to work with imperfect lineups or not having all the pieces, because he doesn't have all the pieces. I mean, he's got some players, but no interior depth, which is a challenge. And most nights in the American Conference, as he talked to you and I today, the opposing team is going to have the physical size advantage in every spot, meaning the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the exception of where he has Dedrick Lawson. And so you've got to overcome that too. But everywhere he's been, he's taken that situation and made it better. And so leaves us no other reason to believe that they'll get back to the NCAA tournament. And if they continue to improve and progress and they can stay healthy, that could be this year.
And if that happens, and look what they're doing with the shot clock, 2 seconds is the ruling.
So I mean, that would only have to be, it's when Taplin picked it up in the backcourt. That's
they
the only
counted
thing,
back from the 30, added that up, and so now you've got a 2-second play in your pocket. Could be a lob here or a quick turnaround. They held it too long. I don't know if that's going to count. No, that's a shot clock violation. Got little hesitation. A good defense there by Memphis not to be rattled in that circumstance. So that'll be a turnover.
I think what's impressive for Memphis, or something that is positive, is Tulsa's given them different looks defensively. Memphis has been confused at times. They've been a little bit careless with the ball. Offensively, Tulsa has looked pretty good. Yet Memphis is up 2 day right now.
Yep.
And so credit Tulsa for not allowing Memphis to get completely going.
Well, Memphis is shooting 50% from 3 and overall. And that percentage will go down just a little bit. Big rebound inside that time by Doji. Wheeler. Euro. Laid it up and no good, but an offensive rebound for Tulsa. Edogi misses that one, and the rebound will go Memphis' way, and Jeremiah Martin will lead it. All the way, Martin. Hit, and will go to the line. So Memphis showing the fast break ability that Tulsa wants to have in this game, and they have tried to keep pace. But when we come back, it'll be Martin at the line for 2. On Thursday, ACC first, 7 o'clock Eastern. 20th ranked Fighting Irish going into Miami to take on the Canes. And after that, the SMU Mustangs in the American Conference. They've won 10 straight right into Cincinnati and take on the Bearcats, who are ranked 22nd. Top 2 teams in the conference at the moment. Both games, of course, are streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. And certainly, Brendan, one of the reasons SMU is rolling along at 14-3 and 4-0 is this guy.
Been playing terrific for Tim Jankovic. Right? You're throwing in 18 and 8 a night. It's going to give you a chance to win. But that game, SMU Cincinnati, that's just one of many to come when you're talking about this league. And one of the things I love about this league, Dave, you and I were talking about this earlier, it is a true basketball league when you talk about the Cincinnati's and Memphis. SMU has emerged as a late. Tulsa, this Tulsa program, people that truly understand and know college basketball appreciate what Tulsa has done over the years. I mean, if you're a basketball fan, it is a great league, and I think you see several of these teams outside of SMU and Cincinnati. Here's what I was trying to get at. Memphis and Tulsa being 2 of those that are progressing and getting better. So that's just going to make the grind that much tougher for everybody else as we get deeper into league play.
I think you got to throw Houston in that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kelvin Sampson's squad.
Absolutely.
That's a 3 ball, open, missed, offensive rebound, and put back, and he meant it. Edogi.
Well, that's a gift right there. Edogi, right place, right time. An athletic guy straight up, and it's kind of one of those if you're Memphis. When it doesn't catch rim, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Memphis has no second chance points. Tulsa, 9 of them tonight, and they break out. That pass nearly stolen by Randall. Baseline left open, and a little bit of contact. I believe this will be on KJ Lawson.
Here's that one with the Dogie. I mean, he too sails the rim right there. Again, nothing you can do if you're Memphis, expecting that ball to carry him off the rim. But Edogi who had some bright moments early in the year. They redshirted him last year to try to develop him because he's so athletic, and they wanted to add to the depth at the 4 and 5 this season. The game in here in November against New Orleans, we had 15 and 10. I think after that, Frank Hay thought, okay, now we've got something going. But he struggled with consistency.
That foul, by the way, Dedrick Lawson was hit with that. That'll be his first. And E2 made it look good there. Pretty good free throw shooter. An example of E2's inconsistency at times. He only had 4 points and 1 rebound against Houston. In previous games, he was tearing the place apart. So tonight, he's played steadily.
I think it's just all about being assertive.
That's a tough shot inside by KJ Lawson. Put Memphis back in front, and we're starting to swap leads now frequently.
Well, the defensive intensity has backed off a little bit, and both teams are able to feel a little more comfortable on the offensive end.
Free ball. Perfect. That's E2, and by the way, he's not terrible at that. 40% from that distance.
Well, he's a versatile scorer, as we said. And although he has thrown up a couple air balls, I like that he's come right back and tried to put points on the board.
And this foul is going to go against Memphis. And this time it is on KJ Lawson. And that'll be his second. So a decision here with 98 seconds remaining for Tubby Smith, whether to sit KJ Lawson. And I believe the answer is yes, I am going to sit him. We'll take a look quickly around the American. Already tonight, Houston, we talked about very briefly, defeated East Carolina. You see Tulane and USF, Temple UConn at 9 o'clock. And on ESPN, of course, tomorrow night, the game we've talked to you about, SMU at number 22, Cincinnati. Jake McDowell has come in, number 42, for the Tigers. Largest lead in this game for either team has been 6.
And a lot of body blows, no knockout punches, no runs really, Dave, where either coach has had to utilize a timeout to stop that run.
E2 with 11 points to lead Memphis. He also had 7 rebounds, so he has been on point in this half. Tough shot inside by Martin, and E2 will grab an 8th rebound. Taplin. Corita, he can shoot that. And a rebounding foul. We're staying here, says Joe DeRosa. And that foul will be on Henderson. Tulsa with their largest lead.
Well, here's the evolution of Sterling Taplin's game. I mean, the game is slowing down to him. He holds up, surveys, and sees a wide open gap to drive. And not only does he drive it, but gets in a position where he draws the help, creates the distance for Corita in that 3. That's something early on in the year Taplin doesn't recognize.
Well, Corita had a scoreless game against Houston. Didn't even take a shot in that game in 10 minutes, so he comes through, and we have a whistle with 14 on the shot clock and 45.6 to go. Frank Haith is very unhappy all of a sudden with Zelton Sneed. And Frank has been hit with a sideline warning for wandering out of the coach's box.
Yeah, I felt like he got a little too far out.
But not a technical, just a warning. E2 3 ball. Oh, that looked halfway down. And, oh, man, a violent collision underneath. And it's going to go against McDowell.
He's trying to battle in there with the Dogie. And the Dogie has given Frank Haith some solid minutes on the interior. He'll find himself back to the foul line. But this was part of Frank Haith's plan coming into the game. And all these guys playing tonight are players that will play, but he's playing them a little bit heavier minutes earlier in the game.
Nadogi hits the first of 2, gives him 6 points. He's also picked up, or 5 points, pardon me, with 5 rebounds and a block. So he's exceeding his season numbers.
And they're getting some extra offensive punch. So this is why you get that 9-point lead. We talked about how important the bench would be. Udogie gets a big hand, as he should. He's got the 6 points.
And a lot of energy on that bench when he came off, too. Everybody got up. And now the fans get up. It's a 10-0 run for the Golden Hurricane. Timeout. 19.4 remaining, 13 to shoot. Tubby Smith's team down by their largest deficit so far, 9. 9-point lead for Tulsa, getting a lot of contributions off of that bench, or 38% of their scoring has come. Tubby Smith calling the timeout. And we'll see what play he's designed and how Frank Hayes going to defend it.
Yeah, because they had extended their zone in the half court. And a lot of times what Frank Hayes will do now, the time they switch up and they've gone to man-to-man right here to close out the half.
2 to shoot. Martin down the middle, draws contact, and he'll go to the line. Wow. Magne hit him. This is an amazing shot.
Well, this is a tough shot. Now, he can blow by people. I mean, he's got the hesitation and the explosiveness, but what a terrific job to absorb contact from Magne, who goes 235 and 6'10", and still get the finish.
Martin missing the free throw. He has 11 points. 5 seconds here. Taplin on the drive. The ball out of bounds will go to Memphis with 0.6 of a second remaining.
Yeah, and Taplin right there got too deep. Good job of driving it, but gets too deep right there.
To half court. Good if it goes. It does not come close. Tulsa leads this one 43-36, a very high-scoring game. Frank Hayes using everybody in the building practically wearing sneakers, throwing him everything he has at Tubby Smith Tigers, and for a half, it was successful. Both teams shooting the ball very well, and aggressive play inside by the Golden Hurricane, particularly from Itu and Udogie. After this short break, Brendan Fitzgerald and Jason Capel will join you from the studio with scores and highlights on the Halftime Report. Just about ready to start the second half with Tulsa in front by 7 here over Memphis in the American Conference. We've talked quite a bit about the two coaches tonight, Frank Hayes and Tubby Smith. Tubby's new to this conference, but this is an interesting year for the American with several new faces and some big names.
You know, Tim Jankovic, you know, he was going to be the coach as the coach in waiting. So that's a unique situation. You have Johnny Dawkins, who really has done a nice job with UCF at 12-4. They sit 3-1 in the league. Of course, Coach Smith, we talked a lot about. You have Mike Dunleavy, who has NBA success trying to turn around Tulane, and then Murray Bartow. But yeah, welcome to the AAC. But all of them, different backgrounds. There's a uniqueness to each of them. And no more than Tubby Smith with the success he's had. He has the most celebrated background in terms of college basketball, most proven track record. And what he did at Texas Tech in his time there. You know, I'm in the Big 12 a lot, and he's got a group of juniors down there now that now coached by Chris Beard that really understand how to play. And Chris Beard has said as much, that Tubby Smith is the one that laid that foundation. The fact that they got to 19 wins last year in the NCAA tournament, that was ahead of schedule. So everywhere he's gone, he's done it quickly and efficiently.
Memphis in the blue. Have their starting 5. Austin brothers, Rivers, Martin, Crawford, who is the reigning American Conference Player of the Week, takes a contested 3 and misses everything. Hit a head pass, knocked out of bounds by Crawford. He thought that Magne touched it last, but he did not. And for Tulsa, it is their starting 5. E2, Magne, Burt, Wheeler, and Taplin. Burt, almost nothing in the first half because he drew a couple of fouls in the first 2 minutes. Number 11 there in the white.
And what was huge there is Corey Henderson came right in and made 2 shots for Burt, and that obviously eased Frank Hayes' mind. And Burt was able to get out of the half with those 2, and they were able to sit him.
And Burt showing perhaps a little game rust there by missing that flipper completely, but there's going to be a foul on Jeremiah Martin, his first. So Burt will go to the line where he is a 68% shooter.
Had a really good year complimenting those 7 seniors. In fact, hit 78 threes last year and was able to help stretch out defenses. 57 of those came in the last 19 games. As far as this year as a senior, he's had a tough time getting going. So much emphasis for defenses have been put on him to shadow him and not let him get easy looks.
And one of the strangest stats of the season for any team, his three-point shooting in this building, 20%. Outside of Tulsa, 50% from 3 for Bird, who hits 1 free throw.
That's amazing.
It is remarkable.
Typically, if you're going to have that big of a discrepancy, it's going to be the other way.
Well, Magne is extremely unhappy with it. He's also a little bit shaken up, I think. But I don't think he likes the call either.
They get the touch inside, and then Taplin will get the foul.
Yeah, he will.
Digging down right there.
And it is Taplin charged with a foul. Magne looks a little uncomfortable right now with his left arm.
Can't tell if it's a shoulder or that left elbow. But even right there, Magne had Lawson shoved outside the lane. Now Lawson can make those shots, toughly guarded shots. But one of the things Frank Haith wanted to do defensively is make everything tough on Lawson. And then offensively, he talked to us about attacking him and trying to wear him down at both ends of the floor.
E2 open for 3, and his night continues. 14 points and 2 made threes in 5 tries.
So smooth right there. Taplin, a little sweet 2-man play, able to get him the basketball in rhythm.
Lawson against Magne, forces Lawson to give it up. Tough shot inside, in traffic by Jeremiah Martin, the sophomore from Memphis.
Boy, Martin, such a good job of getting to the heart of the defense, whether it's off a straight line drive or situation there where he's able to weave his way in and shoot the runner.
That pass was deflected from Magne, and Martin will pick it up finally. Crawford, double dribble.
Here's E2 trying to pick up where he left off in the first half. And you get Taplin right here. That's just your old classic pick and pop. E2 quick on the pop right there. And as the ball's being moved towards him from Taplin, E2 does a nice job of having his feet set ready to go to get it off quickly.
E2 inside. Nice dish to Magne, and it was knocked out of his hands and off his knee, and it belonged to the Tigers.
Good cut by Magne, because you get E2 with the touch on the block. Obviously going to draw attention, and then Magne, intelligent play, dive to the basket.
He really seems to know how to play, and it will only get better for him. Lawson forced to go to the left hand, and a tough job by Magne, a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Golden Hurricane.
I mean, he's smart. You saw it again right there.
And not afraid of Lawson one bit. He's giving back whatever he gets.
I mean, he moves decently, he understands angles, and he used a really nice drop step twice to cut off Lawson as he was trying to turn the corner left. And then once he got deep enough, went straight up and down in the cylinder, and that's why there was a no call.
Working around the corner, Burt, 3-ball corner, no. E2, offensive rebound, and it's knocked away off of his knee. And it's going to be Memphis ball again.
Boy, good quick hands on back-to-back possessions by Memphis.
E2 with a double-double now, 14 points and 10 rebounds. We talked quite a bit about Dedrick Lawson and his double-doubles. He has 13 points with just 2 boards, so E2 will get 1 for Tulsa. That's a contested 3, rimmed out. Rebound for Wheeler. Lost it, got it back, and gets rid of it smartly. That's a nice pass from Taplin. Wheeler in traffic, lays it off the window.
Boy, a great pass, and then terrific patience by Wheeler right there, deep amongst the trees.
Dedrick Lawson missing the three. To the rebound for Wheeler. And Tulsa is running. Wheeler just comes up and fires and missed everything. And Lawson gets the rebound. Here's Diedrich leading the break. And he'll slow it down.
And that's the balance, as we talked about. Tulsa pushing it and playing fast, whereas possession before, they weren't able to get anything in their transition break, so they slowed it down. That time, that's rushed.
Tough shot for KJ Lawson. Memphis needed something. They were down 10.
And they're so good once they get the isolation and the matchup that they want in multiple spots to be able to take advantage.
Taplin had a lane there and just completely missed the layup. Diedrich Lawson switching hands, and he traveled. Lost his pivot foot. Got a little fancy, and Memphis turns it over. It's Tulsa right now, and they're going to go into their bench again when we come back.
Hanging on to the 8-point lead. Great movement away from the ball in Wheeler. Patience gets the bucket to go.
Sports Center at night with Kenny Mayne and Neil Everett. Our guys on the West Coast will have the highlights and breakdowns, some of the college hardwood, the NBA, the National Hockey League, NFL playoff news, and everything else. Sports Center at night after our NBA Wednesday doubleheader on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. We've talked a lot about Diedrich Lawson. 13 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of blocks tonight.
And he scores in so many different ways. And this is one late in the shot clock. No problem. And watch how effortless this is. Let's the game come to him, slow kiss off the window. And then sometimes when that basketball is just used to going in, when it's in your hands, you get a kind roll. He has 3 threes tonight. He's 3 of 5 from there. You see 13 points. But I will say this, Tulsa has not allowed him to hurt them 15 feet and in. Outside the drive where he kissed it off the window that we saw, all his work has been out on the perimeter. Tulsa can continue to have his touches come well outside the lane. I think that's a good thing.
Drive, a block is the call. Well, here's something else. Diedrich Lawson has shot 105 free throws this season. He hasn't shot any tonight. Excuse me, he's 2 for 3. So not very many. He has not been getting inside. So that's 108. And that's another thing. Memphis just only 10 free throw attempts in the first half and just 2, and they're 5 of 12 from the line. Tulsa is 8 out of 10 from the line. And they improve there. Igbanu.
And right now for Tulsa, we talk so much about that bench. Got 3 already for Frank Haith. You talk about Igbanu, Edogi, and Henderson. So just like the first half, Haith directly going to that bench to get that rotation in and out to hopefully use that to their advantage over Memphis.
Just one of the areas where Tulsa's been the better team so far. Both teams have taken a dozen free throws. Memphis has only made 5 of them. Tulsa 10. Off the bench, Keon Clergeot. Again, listed at 6'1". I'm not buying it, but he is rock solid, that guy.
He is. You list him at 185. So when he's able to turn the corner, you cannot force him off that drive. You saw that right there.
Knocked out of bounds. It belonged to Tulsa with 14 to shoot.
You know, the only difference in this game right now is that 10-2 stretch for Tulsa to end the first half. You get your 8-point difference.
Henderson way away from the basket. Taplin's going to have to force something up, and he just lost it. Memphis will run. 3-on-3. That is a block. Lots of suspense in the air here in Tulsa, waiting for that decision to be made. Let's see if he's right.
Here's the drive in transition, little Euro step. Here's another look. See, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Defenders moving, not set. It's a bang-bang play. I think the officiating crew, they made eye contact to make sure that they were on the same page. That was where the delay was in the call being made.
Another missed free throw, by the way, for Memphis. You see Martin having a solid night tonight. And one of the best wins of the season for this team was against Oklahoma, and Martin had 25 in a come-from-behind win against OU.
Well, they've proven they can win on the road. And that was in Norman, and went to Tulane on Sunday and won.
Free ball, no good. Solid rebound underneath by Rivers. See there that Martin was waving wildly with his right hand to somebody to get out of there. 8 to shoot. Pass deflected, stolen away by Tulsa. They were trying to force it into Dedrick Lawson. Taplin. Good ball movement here by the Golden Hurricane. E2. But they get nothing out of it.
Boy, great job of continuing to make the extra pass right there. The defense tries to catch up.
And Dedrick Lawson, okay, you talked about he's not hurting you from 15 and in, but he's hurting you from a lot farther out. 4 threes for him now.
And he's so smooth. Igbanu there to protect the drive, which he should.
Yeah, how would you, in other words, do you think they're defending him correctly?
Well, it depends on who's on him. You know, Igbanu at 6'8" and an interior post defender, he can't extend out on Lawson right there. And so he has to have a cushion and protect the drive and just contest. So that's just a better offensive player making a play against intelligent defense.
Clergeot picks up his 3rd foul. The only player with 3 so far. But he stays in. E2, a lot of up fakes. Blocked by Lawson, but no. No block, a foul. And on Dedrick Lawson, that's 2.
Let's take a look. Ball fake, ball fake. Let's go to the other side. Ball fake finally gets him to go up. And that's where you get the foul drawn. Need to way more aggressive. I mean, it is night and day. And he's had these ebbs and flows multiple times this year. As you mentioned earlier, David, we'll have 2 games. And he looks legit, like the real deal. And then, in a sense, goes and hides. And the 2 games previous coming in, which have been the only 2 conference games for Tulsa, UConn and Houston, he didn't assert his will like he has tonight.
Well, just some examples of E2 earlier this year. Early in the season, in a 3-game stretch, 5 points, almost 4 rebounds. Then in 2 games, he goes 20 points and 7.5 rebounds. He had 22 at the Diamond Head Classic, which is his career high. And then he's also had some terrible slumps too. But he's a junior, and there's still time. Little piece there, but there's going to be a foul going to go against Igbanu, it looks like.
I mean, he being Lawson is such a load. I mean, he can score however he needs to score.
That foul, by the way, on E2, and that's his 1st.
And you're talking about, I mean, this is one of the great scorers in all of college basketball right now.
And a bit surprising that when the midseason Wooden Award top 25 was released earlier today, he's not on that list.
And it's high level every night, Dave. I mean, he's averaging over 20 points a game, and he's only had 1 game where he scored more than 30, and that was 35 against Iowa. So it's not lopsided. You know, one night he does well, one night he doesn't.
Block shot there by Lawson. Let's add 11 rebounds and almost 4 assists to that total. Pump fake, and Martin gets it to go. The Memphis bench jumps up.
Well, Martin has tremendous savvy and toughness. How many times have we seen him work his way in the lane and appear to be stopped and find a way to get that ball to go in?
Now some pressure from Memphis. We haven't seen either team really do this so far tonight. That leaves an open 3, no good. E2 offensive rebound, he'll go to the line. E2 transferred from Rutgers, did not play last year.
And Adogi right there bailing Tulsa out, continues to attack the glass.
And that's 3 on Dedrick Lawson with 12-12 remaining.
I said Edoga. I meant to say E2. But going back to when he's having those games, E2, that are special, he's getting himself to the foul line. That is truly the difference. When you go back to those games, those 2 games prior to when conference started, Dave, against San Diego State and Illinois State, he scores 18 and 22 respectively. He went to the line 20 times. And tonight he's found himself there a bunch.
Steady at the line. That ends a 10-1 run by Memphis, 54-51 the score. KJ Lawson. And Diedrich playing with the 3 fouls. A little collision, knocked out of bounds, off of Tulsa. 20 to shoot for Memphis. Well, E2 has a career high now with 11 rebounds. He has 17 points. A couple of steals.
Tulsa's got to be careful. Memphis so talented offensively, but they cannot afford to relax any possession defensively. Because if Memphis starts feeling it and makes a couple of shots, they really get rolling offensively, and you're sensing that a little bit right now as they make this run.
Yeah, Martin going to the line when we come back. Tulsa had built this up into a double-digit lead, but suddenly the Tigers have found their touch. Jeremiah Martin on the drive here, and we have a ball game in Tulsa. Leading Memphis 54-51. We've had 4 ties and 6 lead changes, 11:52 remaining. A lot of brother combinations in college basketball, 17 in Division I. But at the very top, the Lawsons that you're watching tonight, Diedrich and KJ, the Weathers brothers last night combined for 41. Miami lost to Ball State in MAC play. You see the Davises and the Elmores at Marshall. But you also throw in the rebounds. That's the other thing that gets you. You've got almost just about 20 rebounds a game right there for Diedrich and KJ.
And of those rebounds, 6 are offensive between the 2 of them. So they really pound you on the offensive glass. And remember, KJ played sparingly last year, had the foot issue, so he gets the redshirt year. This is the first season collegiately that they, as twins, have been able to play together. And they have been terrific. And you're getting 13 and 8 from KJ along with what Diedrich is doing. You know, and KJ shoots it well from 3, 41%.
Well, tonight they have combined for 24 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks.
And one of the reasons Tulsa has been able to hang on to the lead is they have done a terrific job of keeping those 2 off the offensive glass. Just 1 between them. Those bigs for Tulsa have done a really good job.
Trying to get it into Magne. It was hit once by Rivers. Magne got it back. Shot clock down to 6. 3-ball. Burt. Magne gets the rebound. And they'll start over. 3-ball. E2. Too hard. Martin rebounds.
And he's looked good shooting right there. Nothing wrong with that. But Memphis still gets the defensive stop. And you can kind of feel them on this end really starting to get into some rhythm.
There's that little flipper from Lawson. No good, though. Magne on the rebound. Sterling Taplin. That's Lawson Carita, just a freshman, by the way. Carita out of Little Rock. Burt. And gave it away. Martin on the steal. Draws contact. He'll go to the line with a chance to put Memphis in front.
Boy, how good and how tough has Martin been in this game. Got to be careful. That's a slow bounce pass up the floor. Martin reads it like a book right there, and that's a natural run through because the pass is being displayed up the floor. Martin, as we mentioned, quick to the other end. And once again, Dave absorbs contact and in a crafty way gets the finish.
20 points. He is the game's leading scorer right now. Carita just pulls up. And a rebound to Crawford.
Now that Tulsa hasn't been able to get the 3 to go down, they've got to start looking to get those touches inside against that zone, whether it be high post or a short corner situation.
Travel on KJ Lawson. Tulsa will send in a good three-point shooter, Corey Henderson. He will come into the game, and Carita will check out. We talked about Crawford, the reigning player of the week in the American tonight. However, just 2 points and a couple of rebounds on 1 of 3 shooting. However, Jeremiah Martin has stepped into that fold.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. When you say that Memphis has multiple guys that offensively can go make plays.
Baseline Jay missed everything on the rebound to Rivers, and Tulsa has got a little cold. They're only down by 1, but their offense right now not hitting.
In the zone of Memphis, Tubby Smith has gone to and stuck with here as of late. It has really caused Tulsa to get stagnant.
Oh, little pocket pick by Burt ahead to Taplin. He'll draw a contact and a foul. That will be on Jeremiah Martin. It gives him 2 fouls.
Yeah, good defensive play from Burt. With those long arms, able to poke the ball away.
So you get a good look here at Taplin, the sophomore from Williamsville, New York. He's an 82% free throw shooter.
Taplin, as a freshman last year, able to learn and sit back in many ways and watch those 7 seniors lead Tulsa to an NCAA tournament. And even last year, Dave, he was the only true point guard on the roster.
Well, they lost so much from last year. This is a very young Tulsa team. 81% of their scoring, 78% of their rebounding as they go back in front on the free throws. It's almost like starting over. Rivers had position, but instead picked it back out to Crawford. Nice drive, set back, put back. Another opportunity for Memphis at second chance points. Rivers converts.
A great job of Memphis. Multiple bodies hitting the offensive glass, keeping that ball alive.
Brendan, Tulsa has not had a field goal in 7 minutes when they've missed their last 10 shots, yet they're down just 1. Of course, they did have a nice lead that evaporated during this cold spell. 6 to shoot. Tough shot there, that missed. Easy rebound for Memphis. Diedrich rimmed out. That could have been a killer. And he too got fouled when he tried to grab the rebound.
What Tulsa has to do, it's simple. You have to get to the heart of the defense. And you can do that a couple different ways. One, get the touch at the high post area. And they're going to be at the line here. The other thing is, Dave, you've got to get the ball flat along the baseline against zones. When Tulsa has had open threes and they've moved the ball around the perimeter, it's been from the corner because they've made that low man have to come a great distance to cover.
So we go back to Etu, who's been the man of the match for TU. 7 of 8 from the line. 8 of 9 and 18 points. We got 2 players for Memphis, 3 players now. Clergeot, Diedrich Lawson, and Jeremiah Martin with 3 fouls. No one for Tulsa has more than 2. And Memphis is the depth-challenged team of the 2. That one no good. Rebound, Diedrich Lawson. Tied at 57, coming up at the 8-minute mark in this American Conference game. Inside, tough shot for Rivers. Another rebound to Forik Banu. And you talked about this many times already tonight, Brendan, but now Memphis has a designated scorer to go to. Tulsa really doesn't. So who gets it as we get to these late minutes in a tight game? That will count! That's who's going to do it. Corey Henderson, at least on that possession. A tough drive for the junior from Dallas. And the former Shocker lays it in. He'll get a free throw when we return. and American Conference doubleheader on ESPN. 7 Eastern on Thursday. Number 20 Notre Dame is in Coral Gables to take on the Miami Hurricanes of Jim Larinaga. After that, the SMU Mustangs. They've won 10 in a row. Take on number 22 Cincinnati at UC's building. And a matchup of two of the best teams in the conference. You can watch streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. I was using the app last night walking through the streets of Tulsa on my way to dinner watching a basketball game. So it's handy. Jeremiah Martin's been more than handy for Memphis.
Well, he has come up big time, Dave. He's been a fearless, willing driver, has not settled for the perimeter shot, gotten to the heart of the Tulsa defense, and has just made plays. Eyes up, terrific move, does a great job of using his body to shield off the defender and make shots. He's got 20 points. And what's really important about that tonight, for a team that is very potent in multiple spots offensively, only Dedrick Lawson has scored in double figures. He has 18. Markel Crawford, who's averaged 24 over the last 3, has 2. So Martin's play has been huge here on the road.
Something else that's been an interesting little number tonight, free throw shooting. Tulsa is now 17 of 21, while Memphis is 10 of 19. And that basket, by the way, by Henderson, it was almost 9 minutes between baskets for Tulsa. 8 minutes 55, and look at how easy Lawson makes it look.
I mean, it's effortless, but credit his teammates. That's a very good offensive possession. And like I've been suggesting that Tulsa needs to do, where did the ball go? Ball got touched right there in the heart of the defense. Good things happen.
Henderson, long three. Igbano with the rebound over Lawson. I'll start over.
Well, it was strong right there from the freshman. Did a great job of following the flight of the ball, getting position on the weak side for the offensive rebound.
Tulsa is ice cold from 3 right now. They're 1 out of 10 in this half. They've missed 9 in a row. They'll try again. There you go. That'll break that. Kaplan comes through.
Well, coming into this year, Frank Haith wanted him to start consistently hitting open jumpers, and that's exactly what he did.
Gives Tulsa a 4-point lead. Crawford will quick fire 3. Look at that. We had a stretch like this in the first half too, where teams were nailing threes. Crawford now with 5. Burt not able to get going offensively. We're going to have a foul against Tulsa, and Igbanu, in the opinion of Zelton Sneed, pushed off.
Igbanu gets caught right there. But you love his hard work inside. Memphis doing a better job that possession, not allowing Igbanu to get the offensive rebound.
He will check out. Magne will come in. Igbanu goes to the bench with 3 fouls. Under 6 minutes left in this one. Been, again, fairly close. Largest lead. Tulsa did have double digits.
And beware of Crawford now. He got that one to go. Sometimes for scores, that gets him going.
What were you saying about scores?
Yeah, that's one right
There's
there.
another one. Memphis is back in front.
They were so good getting him the ball in isolated spots.
Ooh, nearly a steal. And to the floor goes Magne. Nice recovery. And a travel.
I think Magne went to the floor. You know, you lose your pivot foot. You can't get back up. Let's see if that's what happens. And you're right. Lawson, if he goes with that left hand, he gets the run through. It still forces the turnover with the pressure out front.
Jaleel Wheeler comes back in for TU. Out goes Burt. And we'll have a timeout with Memphis in front by 1. Back and forth finish. Looks like we're headed for one of those. 5:28 remaining.
This is going to be a dogfight.
Go crazy. Best basketball at its best. Allen on the ground. Are you serious? Snyder again. What a night he's having.
This is going to be a blockbuster.
One of the best buildings in college basketball in Louisville against Duke. Saturday at noon Eastern. Streaming live on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. So you're not going to want to miss that.
Pretty good way to start a college basketball Saturday right there. And a pretty good way to start your offensive sets if you're Memphis from here on out. I mean, you should do this throughout every and any ball game. You got to make sure that Dedrick Lawson touches it. The ball goes through him. You're in a grinder like this on the road. And make sure you put pressure on that defense by getting in the hands of your best player.
And we're going to have a whistle and a foul against Tulsa. And right now, the guy who's drawing the assignment in man-to-man coverage is Edogi, number 14 for Tulsa, against Dedrick Lawson. Let's check out the foul.
See if Henderson gets his hand in, and he does. And that's a smart play by Crawford, because Henderson had his hand extended, touching his hip. Crawford feels it and then goes up strong, gets himself to the foul line.
And Crawford's come out with 5 points in the last couple of minutes, giving him 7 now. Memphis' lead is 3. And a lot of pressure put on in the backcourt. Now they take it off.
Tulsa's been stagnant offensively. The ball movement has not been crisp. But Memphis in man-to-man. We'll see if this changes the energy out front for the Tulsa guards.
Not getting as many looks inside as they did in the first half either.
When the ball doesn't move, you don't get the defense to shift for those opportunities.
Well, and there's their look inside with Taplin getting the layup, but it's a one-point game.
And you asked earlier who for Tulsa needs to step up, and it's a different situation than it is for Memphis. But it's got to start with Sterling Taplin, making good decisions and choices. And right there, the drive, no help comes, and he's able to finish at the rim.
Crawford backing down. Double team comes from E2. 3 to shoot. 2, 1, hook shot, air ball, shot clock violation.
And Edogi on Lawson. And why is that for Frank Hay? Because Edogi is tremendously athletic, and he can contest the shots of Lawson. And right there does a terrific job moving his feet, not allowing him to turn the corner, and then making that a tough shot from Lawson.
The 11th turnover by Memphis, by the way. Been 11 lead changes, been tied 7 times. Memphis' largest lead has only been 3. Tulsa at one point led this game by 10 early in the second half. E2, great footwork. He worked for that shot big time.
Well, he had nowhere to go, but just continued to try to make something out of it. And he has been assertive today from the get-go.
Fans wanted to walk, they got to walk.
Well, Dave, Junior E2, assertive today, aggressive, splits the double team, doesn't panic, gets Tulsa the lead back.
A game, 3:31 remaining in American Conference on ESPN. With Brendan Manzer, I'm Dave Lamont, and Dedrick Lawson has delivered again tonight for the Tigers.
Well, Dave, he's talented, but what you love about him is he surveys his opportunity. He gets the trail 3 right here, gets the kind roll. And here you got Igbanu having to back off, protecting against the drive. So he takes what the defense gives, rises over the top and knocks it down. And then the ability to find gaps, play away from the basketball. And he does such a nice job. Every time he touches it, he already has the play moving towards the rim. He got 22 points tonight. And he has done his job. And then somebody who has raised it a notch is Jeremiah Martin with 20 points. And if you'd have told us that with 3:31 left in the game, that KJ Lawson and Markel Crawford neither one of them had not reached double figures yet, you'd think Memphis was in trouble. But because of Martin's performance, he's helped keep Memphis right in it.
Crawford's taken just 4 shots tonight. There's a steal by Memphis, by Martin. Ahead, here's Crawford. And that foul by Wheeler, actually a pretty good one. Instead of an easy layup, they're going to make Crawford earn it to the line where he's 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, I love what Tubby Smith did. Comes out of the timeout with some pressure, but there's no trap, and you get Wheeler to pick up his dribble. Crawford mirrors the ball. Nobody comes to help. And then he has the opportunity here at the line.
And he missed the first one. We're tied for the 8th time tonight.
And if Memphis does not win this game, they'll look at that stat, the free throw line, and that'll be a big factor.
13 for 23. Another loose ball. Again, coming away with it, the Tigers. Defensively, they have stepped it up.
And that's where Sterling Taplin, as I mentioned earlier, it's got to start with him. He's got to take charge.
An awful pass. Wheeler has numbers and gets it to go. Quickly, Memphis coming back. Crawford. And denied a trip to the lane by Burt.
Yeah, great job of Burt of moving his feet and keeping Crawford in front.
Lawson draws a little contact and feathers in that shot.
So smooth. Madogi did a nice job, but once there was contact and the separation was created, that's an easy one for Lawson.
Long pass. E2 has it over to Wheeler. And Tulsa's going to slow it down as we approach the 2-minute mark in this game. Nice, that's a really good move. Left-handed score. Put back!
How about Adogi? Played heavier minutes tonight, mostly for his defense, but he's given Tulsa 8 points off the bench as well.
Shot missed by Lawson. Coming down with the rebound is Burt. Another big stat here tonight, Brendan. 18-3 second chance points favoring the Golden Hurricane.
You saw Adogi's athleticism right there. That was big time elevation.
And strength. Seen a lot of Igbanu, Udogi, and E2. All somewhat similar players, similar sizes. Tough shot. Count the basket. E2.
Get the defensive stop, the one and done. So then you can slow it down with the lead a little bit. And here's the follow from Udogi, the possession before. And here's this one right here. Off the curl, you see Dedrick Lawson trailing. Igbanu able to catch it in rhythm. And then what you love about it is a strong move to the hoop and the finish.
4th foul on Dedrick Lawson. .23 points for E2, and by the way, 9 of 11 from the foul line to go with a career-high 12 rebounds. Martin carries it. Shot is blocked. And now a foul, and it'll go against Memphis.
So Tulsa has done a great job here recently, not allowing Memphis to turn the corner on the drive. You mentioned it earlier a couple possessions ago about Burt in transition, not allowing Crawford to get to the rim. Right there, Wheeler, terrific one-on-one containment defense, and then the terrific hands on the block.
That foul will be on Rivers, and he has 4. Wheeler's first free throws of the evening. Tell you what, it's sometimes very simple to look at a box score and see a theme. Tulsa tonight, better than 80% free throw shooting. Memphis, 56.5%. And they've shot the same number of free throws right now, 23. Now 24, and Tulsa just money from the line. They open up a 7-point lead.
And enough time to stretch out the game. Memphis has 2 timeouts, but they have to get quick work right here.
Missed the long 3, tapped out by Rivers. KJ Lawson to the floor. I've got bodies everywhere. Both the Lawson brothers to the floor. They stop it. Possession arrow favors Memphis.
the possession arrow going Memphis' way. Allows him right here another opportunity. You don't have to take the three. Obviously, you're totally cool with Lawson doing that. You just want to get a quick buck at whatever comes easiest right here.
And the officials are heading to the monitor. Both teams have been sent to their benches. And once again, we'll get Joe DeRosa and Kip Kissinger here to watch TV. My guess is this is some sort of clock issue.
Yeah,
I can't think anything else.
They're checking where the shot clock should be.
It will be Memphis's ball. We know that. Right now you see the time on your screen. It is a shot clock issue. Second time we've had them go to the monitor for a shot clock. Tulsa's been all over the map offensively. We talked about it took them nearly 9 minutes to score a field goal at one point in this half. Now they're on a 7-0 run.
But they played their best basketball in the two most important parts of the game. They end the first half on the 10-2 run, allows them to stretch out the lead going into halftime. And then it's tied at 69, and now they're currently on a 7-0 run.
We're going to get a fresh 30 for Tubby Smith's Tigers. Tulsa trying to go above 500 in conference play and for the entire season. Good defense here by the Golden Hurricane, and it's a 5-second violation.
Well, that's a big play right there. Certainly you can ill afford to allow that to happen.
Do you foul here if you're Memphis right away?
Yeah, absolutely. 7-point game.
A lot of time has gone off the clock without it happening. And now finally they're fouled by KJ Lawson with 35. It took him 18 seconds to foul.
Yeah, with the game essentially 3 possessions away. I mean, you can't allow, when you get under a minute, to let that much time chew off.
Third on KJ Lawson. And this is where Tulsa has made their bones tonight. Foul line. A rare miss. 20 of 25 tonight.
And you have to wonder, Tulsa's last 2 games. Close one here against UConn, which they were able to pull out. And then a week ago on the road at Houston where they lost by 3. Being in tight games, it appears that they've learned how to make the necessary plays to close it out.
Long 3 from Dedrick Lawson. And that might do it. Burt is fouled, coming down with a rebound. The crowd sensing a victory here for Tulsa.
Well, it's been a combination of defensive stops for Frank Haith's team down the stretch. You got the big follow-up dunk from Udogie. And then the very next possession is when they set up the play for E2 off the curl. So you're getting defensive stops, and then on the offensive end, you're giving yourself a good look. And when you're trying to grind out a victory, I mean, that's the simple formula that you need.
Free throw shooting continues brilliantly tonight for Tulsa. Off balance 3, no dice, rebound. And Tulsa is going to improve to 8 and 7. Memphis will drop to 12 and 5. 2 and 2 in the conference will have a foul. This is a terrific win for the Golden Hurricane. They'll be 2 and 1 in the American. Memphis will be 2 and 2. Houston a winner already tonight over East Carolina. Next up for Tulsa, by the way, trip to Philly, take on Temple on the 14th, and Memphis will be hosting South Florida.
Well, Tulsa, you get the big night from E2, but the point guard play of Sterling Tappan, 16 points, 6 assists. I thought he did a terrific job of managing his team, particularly in the second half.
And only 2 turnovers. So his 3-to-1, his ratio tonight is brilliant.
And he had struggled a little bit coming in the last 4 or 5 games with ball security.
Well, turnovers been a problem for Tulsa tonight, just 14. Memphis with 14. Tulsa ends this one on a 12-2 run over the final 2 minutes and 27 seconds. And yes, Dedrick Lawson got his. He got 26 with 6 rebounds. But E2 with 23 and 13 rebounds, the high for the game.
You get the big game from E2, and that bench so important for Tulsa. And remember, it started Corey Henderson comes right out of the game, or comes into the game, hits 2 threes early, gives them confidence, and then they are off and running. And Frank Haith must have known something because he felt like this team was coming on at both ends of the floor.
Well, nobody knows better than your coach. Our final score for the final time tonight, 81-71, Tulsa defeats Memphis. For Brendan Manzer and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont. We thank you for watching this American Conference battle. Coming up next, we join ESPN's Buzzer Beater, already in progress. We say goodnight from Tulsa.